You're welcome to ABC News Highlight. My name is Golda Abadai.
And my name is Nana Kwame Brobe.
On to our first story for the day. So a chief state attorney has been disbarred for accepting 400,000 Ghana cedis from Woyomi. A chief state attorney whose name is Samuel Nikwetete has been disbarred as a lawyer by the General Legal Counsel for collecting 400,000 cedis from businessman Alfred Agbesi Woyomi in 2011. So Mr. Nikwe, who has been disbarred, which basically means that he can't practice law again in this country, after the disciplinary committee of the GLC, the regulatory body of the legal profession, found him guilty of professional misconduct under Rule 22 of the Legal Professional Code, Conduct and Etiquette. In a notice dated January 31st, 2024, the GLC said while defending the state against the suit by Woyomi in 2011, Mr. Nikwetete personally caused the direct transfer of an amount of 400,000 Ghana cedis from Mr. Woyomi to the bank account of his wife. Now, when he was questioned, the GLC says he didn't really have a reasonable explanation. And as a result, they are saying that he has misconducted himself, and the punishment is that he has been disbarred. So, yes, 400,000 Ghana cedis. He has been disbarred.
Quite a small price to pay to lose everything, I guess.
Not a small price.
400,000 for your reputation, for your career, for your dignity is quite small, if you ask me. But yes, we are going to move on to our next story. And since the president's ministerial shakedown, a lot of people have been sharing their opinions and think pieces on social media, even through traditional media. Well, the minority in parliament has stated that the president's ministerial shakedown or reshuffling is not truly what we need. According to the minority leader, Katalato Fortin, Akufo-Addo's resignation represents the most effective means of putting an end to the suffering and hardship experienced by Ghanaians. So according to the minority, we need Akufo-Addo to resign and not Ken Ofori-Atta's reappointment away from the finance ministry.
I think they've been calling for this resignation for a long time. It's not coming.
I think it's a bit unrealistic, if you ask me.
For the president to resign in his last term. That's not going to happen.
About 8 to 10 months to go. I mean, he's been here for 8 years.
Unless you're impeaching him or he's being, convicted of a crime.
Exactly.
He's not resigning.
To ask that he does it out of what? What would be the reason why he would just wake up?
Courtesy.
Courtesy, out of courtesy, and responding to Ghanaian suffering. You know what? I think the evil I've done is enough. I'm going to step down now.
He's not resigning.
Exactly, it's not going to happen. But then let us know what you think. Do you think that, if anything at all, the finance minister's reappointment, that's what I'll call it, because yes, he's been taken from the finance ministry somewhere else. Do you think it's going to be effective in changing the tides for Ghana?
Yes. So on the back of this same story, people, like you said, people are sharing their opinions on what they think about, the exiting of the finance minister from the finance ministry. A member of parliament of Bolgatanga Central, Isaac Adungu, has referred to the president's decision to remove the finance minister as a mere window dressing. Window dressing is basically an act or instance of making someone appear deceptively attractive or favorable. It can also mean something used to create a deceptively favorable or attractive impression. President Akufo-Addo removed the finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta in a major ministerial reshuffle on Wednesday, February 14th. A total of 13 current ministers of state, including 10 cabinet ministers and 2 regional ministers, were affected by the reshuffle. Mr. Ofori-Atta has been replaced by the Minister of State of the Finance Ministry, Mohammed Amin Adam. A report indicates that Mr. Ofori-Atta has been made the presidential advisor on the economy. I think that's a much higher position than a Minister of Finance. Now, Mr. Isaac Adungu said that though he did not doubt the competence of Mr. Adam, he could still do little to nothing, while Mr. Ofori-Atta would still be in charge and have an upper hand. This is clearly window dressing. If you follow events and watch critically about the things that have happened, I do not doubt the competence and the abilities of Dr. Mohammed Amin. He was my former colleague on the finance committee, my senior at school, blah, 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 blah. Because now he's the minister and they have appointed the very person they are removing as the senior presidential advisor on the economy. What that simply means is that for Mohammed Amin to get any policies through in cabinet or through executive approval of the president has to go and consult Kennedy. In essence, There is no point. So he should just have stayed in that position. So what do you think? What do you think about the president telling us that, the finance minister is exiting and now he's, an advisor,
I mean, at the end of the day, he did give you what you wanted.
Did he?
Did you people not ask that he sacked the man?
I think the public said remove him, not give him another position.
Well, you weren't very clear on that, were you? So yes, he heard you and said, I'm going to do
specific.
Exactly. You just said, take him out of government
completely.
Because now he's done what you wanted, and moving on to our next story, but still on precedent. Well, the former president has been riding on what you would call an already existing frustration for this current government. So he's been promising, he's been on his campaign, speaking as much to people, trying to convince them that he's deserving of the presidential bid in the coming elections. Well, he's been told by Kabila to stop behaving as if he's won the elections. James Kwabena Bonfe, a former general secretary of the Convention People's Party (CPP), popularly known as Kabila, has cautioned former President John Dramani Mahama to desist from portraying himself as someone who has already won the 2024 general elections. Bonfe expressed concern over Mahama's huge confidence in winning the upcoming elections, urging him to exercise restraint and avoid premature victory claim.
Okay, so I would like to know, he's saying many things. Is there one particular policy that we should focus on, or we should, because I think that the things that he's saying are too many for us.
I genuinely don't think he's even said anything really profound yet. I mean, none of them have, from Alan to Bawumia to him, like none of them. Bawumia has told us his vision, what he really wants to do. But I think Mahama has been releasing it bit by bit.
And
right?
Bit by bit, aren't you supposed to have like one policy that you believe will actually make a difference?
Maybe it will come. I mean, he's talked about a 24-hour running public sector. Bawumia has done his lecture to literally tell us everything he seeks to do when he comes into power. Mahama has told us his intentions. He's even yet to still. I think there's a lot of time. Really, there is a lot of time. I personally also do not think he's moving like he's won the election.
Oh, you don't? You don't agree?
I don't think so. I mean, how many presidential candidates are we going to have? About like 4 or 5 or even? And Bawumia is the only one that has sort of like painted his vision for the country. I think there's time for all of them to join in and say what they want.
Okay, so you believe that he is on the path to, letting us know this?
Yes, I mean, and also he has been garnering support for the little policies that he's been speaking about. I mean, the 24-hour thing has had a lot of support.
Some of the policies are basically riding on, the government didn't do this, I will do this.
I mean,
is that like something that comes from you that you think, this will actually make a difference? I mean, don't misunderstand me. I think it's great that he's going to obviously work on things that exist. What about maybe?
No, I totally agree. I mean, when MPP was in opposition, they had their free education, exactly. Because I think when you're in a position, you are quick to make policies on what you want to call the failures of the incumbent government. But I think what Abba is saying is true.
And I don't think that is something that you should ride on. I mean, if you come to power, those things are not working. You need to fix them. So what are you also bringing to the table?
Your mandate to fix it.
So,
so we are waiting. As I said, I think it's a bit too early for them. Also, the fact that he may have launched his intention way earlier, maybe he should have released his
something major for us.
Major already. But then we are here, and when he does, we will let you know. And if he doesn't, I think Abba will get to let you know that he needs something original other than just a marking scheme from the supposed failure of the incumbent government.
Yes. Do you let us know your thoughts on what we talked about? The finance minister is getting a new position. He's not leaving. Your opinion on the new finance minister? What do you think about people's assertions on things that we talked about? My name is Golda Abadai. This has been ABC News Highlights.
And my name is Nana Kwame Probe.
For more details, please visit abcnewsgh.com. Our social media handle, ABC News GH_.